Eccoci, dovremmo essere qua. Io sono Nicolò Pranzini e sono qua insieme a tre graditissimi ospiti per Camminiamo Insieme, la nostra rivista per over e scolte che è appena uscita e in questa edizione parla di partecipare. Abbiamo pensato che fosse una cosa bella accompagnare l'uscita di questo numero anche a un'intervista a una persona che della partecipazione pubblica, anche grazie all'esperienza scout, ha fatto praticamente la sua vita e per questo abbiamo invitato a partecipare un ospite internazionale. E anche per questo a breve io smetterò di parlare in italiano, scusate, e partirò invece a parlare in inglese, perché appunto la nostra ospite, Djuna, è del Lussemburgo e comunicheremo in inglese. Here we are. So it's a bit weird from Italian to English, but here we are. It's very nice to be with the three of you. We have Anna, who is a scolta, as we say in Italian, a ranger, as we would say in international jargon, from Friuli Venezia Giulia. We have Giacomo, a rover from Imola, Regione Emilia-Romagna, and last but not least, we have Djuna Bernard from Luxembourg. Djuna, welcome. It's so nice to have you here, and thanks a lot for joining us.
Buongiorno a tutti.
Excellent start. As I said, I am Nicolò, and I'm here as a contributor to Camminiamo Insieme. In particular, I take care of a small part of the magazine that is bringing a view on the international dimension of scouting and guiding. And this is why we prepared also this interview. But I'm not going to be the protagonist of this interview, because the three of you are going to be. But some few words before handing over to Anna and Giacomo for some questions. A few words about Djuna, because you know, Djuna, I was wondering when we met the first time. And I might be wrong, and you can correct me, but I think it was 10 years ago, exactly 10 years ago, in the Kandersteg International Scout Center, when together we participated at the Agora, organized by the European region of Wisdom. You were very young, I was old already there, but you were very young, very passionate, very into not getting to know more about scouting and how scouting could contribute to improve our world, to make a change. And I think it's a long way from them, because now, after 10 years, you are a member, the youngest member ever of the Luxembourgish Parliament. And not only, you are the vice president of the Luxembourgish Parliament, which is amazing. Because I know you're amazing, so I'm really happy for your country, but also it's amazing because I have the feeling also that scouting had some impact in this, in your actual position. And together with Anna and Giacomo, we are going to discover a bit more how much scouting has impacted on this. So with no further ado, I'd like to hand over to Giacomo. Giacomo, do you have a question to kick off for Djuna?
Yeah, I do. I'd like to ask you, how did you realize that politics is what you want to do in life?
I didn't realize it at one special moment. It wasn't like the click that happened. It was, I guess, more a process. I joined the Young Greens when I was 15. Because I liked the ideas. I thought a lot about climate change and about sustainability, like many young people do. And in the beginning, I was just in the group and got to learn a lot. And so it was more me being a part of a group. And then I was more active in scouting, with university, with National Youth Council. So I had plenty of things to do. And at that time, politics was something I was interested in, but I would never have thought that I would be a professional politician one day. that was not really a plan. So when I was 26, a few years later, I was still a member of the Green Party, but just a normal member. Then we had elections in Luxembourg, and the vice minister, who is from my party, he asked me if I would like to run, and I was very honored, to be honest. I mean, that's something if someone important asks you to run. And I thought about it, and well, I said yes, because I thought it's a good opportunity, and I'm going to learn a lot, and I can stand there for my values and for what I believe in. But honestly, I never thought that I would be elected in the end. I just thought I'd be one of many candidates. And then we had the election nights, and well, after that, I realized I'm actually voted into parliament. So when I was 26, so it just happened a bit. So it was never a real plan.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Djuna. My question for you is, are you somehow applying what you learned in scouting in your current position?
All the time. And Nicolo said that already. I wouldn't be where I am without the Scouts, and without what scouting has taught me in my whole growing up process. I was Scout since I was 5, so it's really a part of my whole life. I am applying many things. First of all, I am applying to be a social person, to be among others, to deal with others, even if we don't have always the same opinions and are not coming from the same background. It's a lot about, interacting with people. And I think the skills of being in a group of people, of having to deal with others, is something that you learn all the time in scouting, in your patrols, when you're a leader, when you're in trainings, all these kind of things. And the other thing is to trust myself, to apply the learning by doing method. I especially as a young person, when you're in parliament, I don't know everything, and I have never been a politician before, and I'm not a lawyer, so there are all the time new situations where you have to jump into, and I often say I feel like I'm swimming in cold water, trying to, just to deal with it. And it's a lot about learning all the time. But the fact to do it and to not be afraid, but to apply learning by doing, and to grow with the new tasks and with new challenges and with new situations that you have, that is something that scouting has taught me all the time. And I think it gives me also the confidence in myself that even though at the beginning something is new and maybe I'm not very good at it in the beginning, that I'm growing with it. And I think those two things are clearly linked to my scout past, and are helping me a lot to survive also in this politician world, which has many, many nice moments, but also some difficult ones. And it made me a strong person.
Thank you. And Nicola has told us about you participating to international Scouts events. What impact has the participation in international Scout events had on your career or your professional development?
Yeah, well, Nicolo and I, we go way back, absolutely. And it's crazy how time flies. My first international Scout event was in 2011. We met in 2012. So basically the last 10 years of my life have been very much been implicated by international Scout events. So first of all, what I learned is very basic. My English became much better through international scouting. I mean, that's a fact. All the time people ask me, oh, your English is very well. I say, yes, it's because of international scouting, like conferences. So that's a cool thing. But there are many more things. I think it's the most important one is international scouting teaches you intercultural understanding and learning. It teaches you that people from different parts of the world, from different countries, come with different backgrounds, with different stories, with different beliefs, with different traditions and rituals. And in the beginning, you are overwhelmed by this, and you come from your little bubble, and you have to be very open, and you discover how rich our world is by talking to many people from different backgrounds. You become more sensible to the different parts of the world and to the realities where other scouts are coming from, with different social backgrounds. And so it makes you humble, it makes you also be happy from where you're coming from, but also to be very open towards where others are coming from. And I think that's important. And it teaches you to listen to others instead of talking all the time, because you develop a sensibility on where others with other point of views are coming from. And in politics, I think you need that all the time. You need politicians that are sensible to other people, that go out and listen and realize, okay, not everyone is coming from the same point of view and from the same background. So we have to meet each other and learning to listen to each other. And that's something international scouting has taught me.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember, sorry to interrupt, I remember once together with Djuna, we were in Norway at the European Guidance Scout Conference. Back there, it was late at night. We were with another friend from Portugal, another from France, another from Belgium, and I don't remember who else. We were having spaghetti together. And we were discussing about our vision, how much scouting could impact on our society, on how much we care about developing scouting, because we know how powerful it could be. And if you look back there and knowing that now you are in the parliament, and at the same time we have other friends all around the world that have the same responsibility, I have to say that it makes me proud of all these experiences that we have shared at international level, that really opened up our horizons and let us see in a different ways many things. And I really share what Djuna is saying, because for me it was crucial for my personal development to have friends from all over the world that continuously could offer me different points of view. And it was unique, and I really value that. And
absolutely, and these friendships are so valuable still today. I mean, Nicolo, I'm sure you have the same experience. You can, as a scout who has been a bit in different scout camps, jamborees, scout conferences, you have friends all around the world. And wherever you travel to, you have friends you can call and you meet. And like Nicolo and I, we haven't met each other for quite some years, but as soon as you go back together, you have this very strong links of scout friendships and sharing the same values that are so enriching, and it gives me so much back, especially like just now. I'm hoping nobody from Luxembourg will listen to that, but we have some big issues at the moment, and it's really tough and not always easy. And the meeting was a tough one, and I just said, so I'm going to leave now because I'm meeting with the Italian Scouts, and I'm so looking forward to it. So I came up and put my scarf on, and you know, like this meeting you today and having this exchange and being back with scouting is bringing me back to my comfort zone and to friendship, and that's really something personal that is very dear to my heart.
So let's go back to your work. You're the youngest woman in the parliament, right? How do you feel about it? Have you ever felt underrated?
Yes, it's not always easy. I mean, it's a very nice position. It's a mission and a task that I'm living as politician and as youngest one in parliament, but also young woman in parliament, because still today we have less women that are in parliament than men. I think the two things are very important also to show to the outside world. So to be seen a bit like a role model, so I can show others, other young people, other women, to step up, to get active, to run for elections, and to be active in politics, because it's an important mission that people take over and live this politician's life in a responsible way, in a way linked to values and to what you believe in. So I want to encourage others, and I want to be a role model for those who have maybe doubts or are not sure if they can do it. So I try to be very active and outgoing in speaking to others. But it's not always easy, because obviously in politics, often you are, well, first of all, confronted to not always the same opinions, but also to people that try to push you a bit down in order that their ideas come true. And especially if you're young and female, there's sometimes people who take advantage of that. So you have to really prove your point, and take sometimes a lot of energy. And I feel, especially as a young person, people tend to forget you or think, oh, okay, but she's now sitting here, but she has nothing important to say, and you have to prove them wrong. So especially when you're young, you have to prepare yourself and you have to speak up, because you're not elected to say nothing. You're elected because people have confidence in you and think that you're the right person to be sitting there in parliament. So you also have a duty towards your voters. And I believe strongly in my values, so I try to speak up a lot and say my point. And even if there are people who say, oh, but that's not important now, I say, no, it is important. It's important to my generation. I have an important point of view, and it's as valid as yours. And sometimes it takes courage to say that. And obviously there are moments where you have to be a bit tougher than the others to make your point. But in general, I really have to say that throughout many other parties, people admire my party, that we have so many young candidates in parliament, and they always ask us, but how do you do that? And then I say, well, we do it because we empower young people from the beginning. We don't just put some young people on our list to be an alibi, but we have young people taking over responsibility and speaking up already at important places. So it's not only in showing young people, but it's empowering and involving young people already at decision-making level. And that's, I think, the secret to have young people being very active throughout civil society, in clubs, in federations, in scouting, in politics. And I think that young people have a lot to say, and they should get the place to say their things.
What do you dream for your country? What do you want to achieve with your commitment? Is there something in particular?
Well, I think this generation of politicians that are in power at the moment, I think they have a very big duty in stopping climate change. I think it's a very big mission that politicians all over the world have at the moment. It's now, these 10 years are crucial to make the changes in our way of life, in our way of consuming, in our way of moving around, in our way of traveling and having industry and agriculture, where we have to take the climate change as one major criteria in order to make our politics work. So that's a real big topic in terms of sustainability, where we definitely need to have courage, and we may have to make a change. And these changes are not always easy, and sometimes, or not only sometimes, very often, industries and people and other politicians have many arguments against it, and it's expensive, and all these arguments that you hear. But when I look at my generation and at the generation after me, I think it's the only way that we we have to do it. It's not an option anymore, because the coming generations will be those who are suffering most of what climate change is bringing us. So it's not an option. It's something that we have to deal with. So that's a really, really big point in why I'm active in politics. A more concrete thing, just a little thing, where when I see myself in 20 years, and I say, okay, in 20 years, I won't do politics anymore, because I don't want to do it my whole life. I want to be active now, but I don't want to be an old woman still going to parliament. But when I stop in 20 years, I have one very concrete thing that I want to have achieved. It's voting right for 16 plus. So at the moment in Luxembourg, you can vote from 18 onwards. You even have to vote. So we have mandatory voting in Luxembourg. And I want to have mandatory voting from 16 onwards, because I think that many young people have many important ideas and something to say. So I want voting rights lowered. So that's something very concrete. It's something I believe in, and we're not there yet. So I still have to fight a bit for it. But when I retire one day, I really hope that I would have been a part of making this happen.
Thank you.
And to conclude this interview, is there any advice that you would like to give to rovers and rangers like us in order to improve their community engaging?
Oh, yes. So whatever you do and wherever you have an interest in, I'm sure you have different field of interest that you're interested in nature and sustainability, in social affairs, in refugees, or in scouting, whatever it is. Please be active, please step up. So we need a strong civil society. We need young people that believe in something and get active. And we need them to make a change in whatever area it is. And it really doesn't have to be politics. It can be so many different things. Just do it. We have all a responsibility one to another. And I think our society is only working with people who are not only being focused on themselves and not only doing their jobs or their families, but also looking around and looking at, okay, but where here in my community, where can I make a change? What is needed? What can I do? And to have this exercise in your head, to reflect what change can I bring, is something that each and everyone can do. And trust yourself and believe in yourself in doing so, because I think many people think, oh, I can't do that, or oh, no, someone else will do that. No, it's not someone else, it's you. And I'm sure that you have, all of you have some topic like that. So be active and believe in yourself, because the change that we can bring to society and that we can bring to our communities is exactly that. And it can only happen if each and everyone takes responsibility in this.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow, Djuna, thank you. Even if I know you very well, still, I mean, you touch some very, very deep and important elements that are very important. And also, you made me think also about the words of a person that unfortunately passed away recently. The president of the European Parliament. I guess it's on the news everywhere. David Sassoli, and he was a scout. He was a scout in our association, and listening to you remind me also of many of the words that he was using in the last days, but also in the past. And I think also this interview and this issue of Camminiamo Insieme as well on Partecipare. I think it's should remind also this very important human that has contributed so much for a dream like the European Union. And in order to conclude, I also want to bring back to memories also something else. You know, I'm getting old, so I always think about the past and this kind of stuff. But I don't know if you remember what was the topic of the meeting we were together in Kandersteg of this Agora. Do you remember what the topic was?
Youth participation, my dear Nicolo. It was you teaching me the ladder of participation, and it was you that told me young people are not only there to stand somewhere in a photo to look good so that we have some young people. So we need young people also being very active and taking over responsibility and being a part of a decision-making group. So that's what you taught me, and here we are.
Exactly. That's I like to emphasize the connection, because yes, it was youth participation, not today, not tomorrow, today. Because sometimes young people, you always hear from the older ones saying, yes, you will be the future. But the message that I got from scouting and from meeting people like you, Djuna, and many other friends, and Anna and Giacomo, it's not, we are not the future, we are the present, and we have to build together the future together with the others. So I think that's a message that we should all carry further. And once again, thank you for your inspiration, Djuna. And we wait for you in Italy as soon as possible.
I would love to. I would love to come and meet you in person, dear Anna, dear Giacomo. It was a pleasure to talk with you here online, but I'm sure we will meet at some point in some Scout event very soon. And I'm very much looking forward to see you again, dear Nicolo. It brings back so many memories and good moments that we shared in international scouting.
It will be a time soon, I'm sure. After we will be over all this one very soon. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Giacomo. Thank you, dear Djuna. And let's look for new adventure. Okay? Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao.